Right, what we're going to do here at FoneFunShop, we're going to just give a guided tour on using SETools. So we'll load our SETools up. There we go, we've got our SETools window. Yep. We'll start here on the left hand side. The interface is the way you're going to connect to the phone. The USB settings is for your DCU60 cables, which you can use for flashing, which is a lot faster. You've got your UFS settings, which is a UFS box, and then you've got your COM ports numbers. Right, so to find out which COM port number you need to use is if you've got, like I've got an SETools box, so the cable interface is built in. So you go onto My Computers, you click onto Properties, go to Hardware, go to Device Manager, and there you can see all your devices connected. If you go to Ports, Comms and LPT, just open that up, and here you can see Cruiser Universal Cable UC10 on Comms 5. So I know my cable interface is on Comms 5, unless I want to use my UFS or a USB cable. I know my interface will take top speed, so set it to the top speed. Yep. Right, you've got an info button here. If you press info, right, it says no server found. Card counter, you flashed 24 and you've unlocked 26. Yep. Go to sport, which takes you directly to the sport area. Right, so that's this side looked at. Yep. Across the top here you've got different types of phones. You've got Sony Ericsson, LG, empty fill phones, Sharp 3G, PDA. Then you've got a lock manager, and then you've got settings. Right. 9 times out of 10 you always tick the top 2 in settings to complete the phone after you've flashed it, and format the GDFS after you've flashed it. For an example, let's do it as though we're going to flash and unlock a W810 phone. So we select our phone type, which should be W810. We know we've got his interface correct. We want to add flash files now, so we'd add. See here, you've got 2 flash files. You've got the generic main and the file system. So I'm going to select the main file first, and then I'm going to select the file system. Just hang on, it doesn't like you going to the desktop in this version. So I'm going to create a folder called W810. Just going to move my flash files into there. Just launch SETools again. Right, let's start again. Select the interface, Comms 5, the speed on full. Right, select my phone type, which is a W810. Add my flash files. Go into a folder now. That's the first one loaded up, and the second one loaded up. So now I've got my 2 flash files in, which I want to flash to the phone. So I'd go to settings, I'd complete the phone, format the GDFS, and unlock it after flash. Tick save. That's 9 times out of 10 you just need them first 3 settings if you're working with a perfectly good phone and you want to flash and unlock it. So all I'd press there is flash, and what that'd do, that'd flash these 2 files into the phone and unlock it after it's flashed it. If you wanted to unlock, you'd just press unlock. These fairly easy to understand. You can read the flash, you can read the GDFS, you can write a GDFS. Right, to write a GDFS, in the miscellaneous files here, you'd press open, you'd go to your SETools folder, see program files, FoneFunShop, SETools, and GDFS. You've got two different formats. I always use the SSW format. That's like W810 file, and I'd just press write GDFM. To writing scripts, same again, you'd put them in the miscellaneous folder, and you just press write script. Laser writes SETools has done some scripts for like updating SID49 phones to SID51, etc. Yep. Recovery is used for repairing damaged EROMs on DB2020, but you do need server access for that. Identify, that'd just identify the phone. It's always a good way to test your connection is set up by pressing identify. Restore file, you don't really need to put anything in there. If you use the FoneFunShop installer, it'll automatically find the restore file and restore the phone for you. Yep. Test point OK, that's when you're using test points, or when you're using phones that need restore files, it'll tell you to press test point OK. Stop, obviously stop the operation and quit. Right, profile, I'm going to press save now. Just going to go to settings as well, press save. So if I go and select another phone now, W880, you see the settings has gone back. If I select W810, there you can see it's remembered my settings and it's remembered where the flash files are. So that's how you save your settings. So if I wanted to use the server, it's asking me for server details. You'll find all the details when you purchase a log, but all the DB2020 phones, when you're flashing, you cannot complete the phone unless you have purchased some credits. Yep. This is the UFS cable that comes with, say, the shoebox, which has got SETool built in, but it's got its own cable with its own battery. Yep. LG 3G works similar way. Select your phone, press unlock, add your flash files in, press flash. Same again, use the settings. You always tick top 3. I always tend to tick. Empty fill, that's if you've got empty boards from wherever you need special flashes to flash the phone with. Sharp 3G, basically same. Select your model, press unlock. PDA phones works a little bit different. We select P990. Yep. The interface, it will just ignore that interface. It'll always use the USB DCU cable. Yep. And when you add a flash file into this, you just add the zip file. So it's just one file, and it'll automatically unpack that file and flash it all into the phone. Yep. Locks, you can select your phone and you can lock it to certain networks. So if we've got a K320 and we want to unlock it to T-Mobile, we just do that. And right locks, yep, tick lock it to network and right locks. Yep. Settings, which I've explained, a bit self-explanatory. Disable switching to USB, I've never used that before. Yep. Basically that's a little brief tour on how to use SETools.